is hard as hell. United, Tottenham, Arsenal. Watch my lips, and I will spell. Cause they don't just play, but they can rap as well.
Good evening, guys. This is a Liverpool podcast, Anfield South. I'm your supply host today, Paul.
Supply host?
Supply host. What's wrong with that?
I thought we left school a long time ago.
Yeah, well, someone needs to be looked after today and taught. So we're here today. There's only a few of us, unfortunately, because we've got some people missing. Mainly the host, Slim, have a nice holiday. Some supplying, and we've got a new member of the panel from our WhatsApp group. Sam, introduce yourself.
Yeah, my name's Sam. I'm from the WhatsApp group, and big Liverpool fan, so here to contribute to the discussion.
And when I saw you today, we walked out, met him outside, and I was like, you look really familiar. I was going on about it. And we realised we used to work together about 15 years ago at Marks and Spencer's, so
yeah, very small world.
Yeah, Chris back in the building. Long time no see people, but I'm here again.
Also, ladies and gentlemen, Waz is in the building. Hope everyone had a good summer, but we're back.
We are back, and we're back. And we're back as European champions, obviously.
Six times.
Before we go into the agenda, I'd like to ask a few people, how does it feel to be a European champion?
I'm an old Liverpool fan, so it's business as usual. I'm playing. No, it's good. It's nice to see some sort of reward or for all the hard work that everybody's put in, the FSG, Klopp and all that. I was happy we won it for him more than anybody else, because the plastics out there were trying to question his credibility as a top class manager. So happy for Liverpool, but happy for Klopp especially.
Cool. And Waz, how do you feel?
You know what? I'm just having flashbacks to that night, actually. What can I say apart from, we're 6-time champions. It feels really, really good. Nice way to end the season. We didn't get the league, but we got something to show for our hard work and dedication. Also, I must give credit to you, because you actually called that a long, long time ago.
Yeah. I'm an old Liverpool fan, isn't it? Business as usual.
Though, but yeah.
He's getting to host, so he doesn't need any more credit. You know what I mean?
But no, you know what? I'm glad we did it, but that's last season now. I'm looking forward. So we need to put that behind us. We need to move on.
Okay, cool. Well, let's move on. And we started off in pre-season, obviously. Boys won the European Cup June the 1st. Some of the boys went to Brazil. Some boys went to Africa, North Africa, for the African Cup of Nations. And we started
way too long, FIFA.
Yeah, way
or
too
whoever
long.
is in charge of that region.
We started pre-season pretty well. We won a few games domestically. Then we went abroad. And what do you guys think? Who can pick it up from there?
With pre-season, especially under Klopp, I know a few people were panicking because we lost a few games and let in a few goals, but I don't think people understand how Klopp trains. From my understanding, he does a lot of conditioning work before games, so I don't think the performances were necessarily sort of any cause for alarm, because, like I said, they're going out there toasted already. It's already burnt out, so the performances were just a reflection of that for me. There's no panic on from my part anyway.
Pre-season's pre-season. It's just an exercise just to see how other players who didn't get an opportunity fit in. Those who are injured long term, i.e. Ox and Gomez, chance to come back in, have a nice feel out, see how they feel. Granted, the results, some we won, some we didn't. Just how it goes. I don't take pre-season personally. I just see it as a training exercise.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think first of all, it's good that we got to kind of go out and go to different parts of the world and see our fans, because we are a big team, and for me, getting the team to see the fans, that's a really good thing. Again, like what's been said already, I think the results, you're not really looking at the results, you're looking at the effects of pre-season. Once the season starts, that tells you how good the pre-season is. And for me, my understanding is Klopp really works his players during pre-season, so the fact that we weren't getting the results, while it was a little bit worrying, I wasn't overly concerned. I was always going to judge it from the Charity Shield and from the first game of the season.
And the funny thing is, the second half of that Charity Shield game illustrated what the conditioning was like, because we obviously looked a lot fitter than the City boys. in the second half. I think, and later on in the season, I think that's where you'll see the benefits of doing that kind of work. But I said this is 4th season; we should be used to it by now. So,
Well, sorry, go on.
No, I can say also to the point you just made about pre-season, it was a training exercise for many players, but then you had Simon Mignolet. How many errors can one man make?
Do you think that's what pushed him out the door in the end, or?
To be fair, after that Bruno Fernandes shot, I can't get over that because
Was that Sporting Lisbon, was it?
Yeah. If that was Karius, we would have lost it a long time ago.
It was a bit of a shock to see a Liverpool goalkeeper make a mistake like that, wasn't it?
But the thing is, we should be used to that because he's done it for years. But for some reason, he's like it was Teflon. We just let it go. Well, the fans didn't let it go. Klopp let it go.
well, I think it's just an indication of how good Alisson's been because it's almost wiped out years of calamitous, dysfunctional goalkeepers in one season. Do you know what I mean? He's been so solid, barring a few early hiccups that we've almost forgotten that we've had clowns in between the sticks over the years. So big ups to Alisson.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, we've just talked about pre-season and everyone's talking about how they don't take it very seriously. But can anyone see a pattern that started in pre-season that has followed its way to the start of the Premier League?
Defence.
Yeah.
It's difficult to call it though because the teams have been so disjointed. It's not like if it was the same back four played in all the games and we've been leaking goals and we continue to leak goals, I'd be concerned. But it's been a mix of players who've never played together before or played very few minutes together. So for me, again, we haven't looked as tight as we usually do. But it's to get
Game one, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's game one. It's and Norwich are a good passing team. You know, we act as though teams, are not going to come to Anfield and create chances. They're a decent team, so.
But I think, no, in the Norwich game, I'm thinking back to the City game. I mean, the first half, it was a game on two halves, or cliche saying. But first half, it was all City, and we just looked like we weren't even ready for it. And don't get me wrong, and you know what? Last season, my catchphrase was one game at a time. This season, there's no catchphrase. I'm just taking everything as it comes. But I mean, a prime example is Matip for me. Last season, you can quote me on it, I wasn't his biggest fan. In fact, at one stage, I think I called him the Gazelle because
Giraffe.
Yeah,
Gazelle's not a bad thing to say.
But the giraffe, you just knew there was a mistake coming. And fair play, once he started picking up the ball, you saw I can't use Baresi actually, more of a Costa Curta type. Yeah.
I would never put Matip and Baresi in the same sentence.
But we know what you mean.
Yeah. You saw there was some type of, he's a bit confident and fair play. You know what? After slating him, he had the assist in the Champions League final. And confidence grew.
So should he be in the team?
Yes.
Yeah, I was particularly disappointed he didn't play against Norwich. I understand the ethos of you've got your best 11, but for me, if someone comes in and does well, for me they deserve the shirt. And until they play bad and until they get injured, that's when you look to change it. So for me,
that's a good point.
I was really
because I would normally say Gomez because I think he's a better defender. But what you've said, I think is if I'm being fair, he's deserved to wear the shirt because he's played really well.
He's been solid, and to be fair, I was shocked even more so when I saw Gomez. But the days of me criticising players are done. So I said, I'm just going to roll with it and see what happens. And anyway,
before the Norwich game, I was like, let's put Gomez in as well because I think he's the better defender and what he done before he got injured, etc., etc. I mean, I think we could play a higher line when he plays as well because he's quicker. However, although it's not Gomez's fault, Gomez was fine the last couple of games. I can't put my finger on it, and the only thing I can think of is, in retrospect, maybe we should just keep the same back four.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not so sure. I think if you look at Norwich's goal, it's Alexander-Arnold and Gomez.
Yeah.
And for me, there should be communication.
I think Alexander-Arnold should have covered him on
Matip. I think for me that doesn't happen with Matip in the form he was in back in the last season. So
and that's the key in the form he was in because before that we were saying the same thing about Lovren and Matip not helping Trent enough, and isn't Gomez so wise beyond his years by be able to help Alexander-Arnold? But it's the way around now.
Yeah, it could be a bit of rustiness though. I mean, like he's come back from a long injury. He's had a couple of games. So again, I don't want to come over overly critical, but perhaps we need to give him a couple of games to kind of feel his way and get back to that form.
And the thing is, to back up what you're saying, I actually never saw the mistakes in Gomez until my uncle, shout out Garth Roberts for that. He always pointed out that Gomez is a good defender, but the concentration levels are always 80%. He's never fully 100. And when he pointed out to me, I was like, you know what, let me watch one of him. And lo and behold, for 70% of the game he was fine. Then that split second, he just went off, it led to a goal.
But you know what that is though? There's a reason behind that. I think you'll find Van Dijk is a very unique person because he's an athlete with concentration levels of somebody who's not an athlete. You tend to find the slower defenders tend to be a bit more switched on because they know their limitations. Gomez is an absolute thoroughbred, so he knows 9 times out of 10 if he makes a mistake, he's so quick and strong.
Yeah, I'll give him that.
He's got the recovery. He's got the ability to recover from it. Defenders like John Terry Carragher, they tend to be switched on like 95% of the time, simply because they know they lack the physicality or the physical attributes to recover from it. So I think that's the thing with Gomez. 9 times out of 10 he can, run back or adjust, make the adjustments. You know what I mean? Because of his physical attributes.
Yeah, but what we want him to do, we don't want him to always rely on that pace. For me, I think we want him to kind of get him thinking, be more aware who's running, where midfield players are coming in. And I think like I said, Van Dijk helps in that because Van Dijk does a lot of talking. If you watch him, he's always talking to Robinson, he's always talking to even Matic or Gomez. So I think if we can coach that into Gomez to be more aware.
I think he had it though last season. I think he was covering. He covered for Van Dijk a few times, especially early on. So I think he has got it, but maybe it's like you said, a layoff. He hasn't. He hasn't. Or maybe it's a little bit of disrespect or arrogance because you're playing Norwich. Maybe you think you don't have to be as concentrated as say you're playing a team.
I did actually feel that watching the Norwich game, that defensively, I don't know, they weren't as switched on.
Let's come back to the Norwich game in a minute because Leo's put it on the agenda. Just to round off pre-season, what about the young players we've got?
We got some.
Anyone's sad to see Wilson go?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Fully.
Yeah.
Fully.
Especially when Captain Cruyff turn is going to get minutes. Sorry for those who don't know, that's Lallana, who should be done, but his dad wants to play him. His dad is Klopp, if you don't know.
Next door neighbour, isn't it?
It is, but that annoys me because I think he's been at Liverpool for 5 years, and I don't think he's got 20 goals, and I don't think he's got 20 assists. One of our fans maybe could maybe ping us a message or something to say what his correct stats are. But I know he's been injured a lot, but for me, he has great technical ability but zero vision. He's got all the vision of a mole. Do you know what I mean? So
all right. Let's stick to young players, right?
sorry, rant over.
Yeah. Jesus. All right, so
but yeah, Wilson should be getting his minutes.
Let's talk about Wilson. A few minutes on Wilson. What do you reckon?
For me,
I want him to stay.
Yeah. Yeah, I second that. I mean, I watched him closely when he's at Derby, scoring goals, making assists, and I thought this guy's. It's worth us seeing how he gets on. It's worth us seeing what he can add to the squad. Because I think, as Klopp said, he's 22. He's got to be making a decision as to whether he wants to keep him. And I thought for him to be in the squad, let him fight for his place, play him in the cups, get that experience. But
he's got that. Plus, he's got that long range threat.
Exactly.
That we don't have.
Yeah. As soon as we saw Big Phil, that was we haven't got anyone. Actually, we ain't got anyone that can do a 30-yarder.
No, we got some, but they're not.
Kerry Knox can do it, but they're not. I think Wilson's a bit of a specialist when it comes to the long range efforts.
Yeah, and that gives us another kind of a different perspective to our game. Like, people would close him down. That would create space for Firmino, Salah, Mane, and we can get in that way. So,
but there's my only slight issue with that. Don't get me wrong. I'm a Wilson fan through and through. I was just thinking, how did Klopp see it? Would he be a substitute or be saved for League Cup or FA Cup?
That's the thing. To be fair to Klopp, Shaqiri, I guess, is someone who I think played well last season, but in terms of untapped potential, he should have Wilson. He's got Wilson shooting boots in him, surely. So maybe that's the reason why.
No, but I get what you're saying. But my point is, Lallana will get minutes. Those minutes should be Wilson's, in my opinion. I'm not saying he should replace any of the first tier players, but if somebody like Lallana is going to get minutes, which he will do, I can't see a future for him at the club. Personally,
I thought he was going to be sold, to be honest.
So did I. So I said that's why it surprised me. But I would prefer a young talent. If he fails, he fails. You know what I mean? Wilson, whatever. But I would prefer if Wilson had those minutes instead of Lallana.
Brewster. What do you reckon?
So it looks exciting. Looks lively and sharp. Again, I think perhaps if we're 4-1 up like we were against Norwich, bring him on for 10-15 minutes, cup games. That's how I see him. That's how I see his role for this season.
Brewster's my guy, man. I ain't gonna lie. I'm trying to temper my enthusiosm about that kid, but I think
Ryan called out Brewster.
I'm telling you, the guy. For me, he's got the physical attributes, and for me, you know, my thing is about IQ. He's a very, very sharp player. Can finish with both feet and his head. Can pick a pass. I think it's only a matter of time. I think once he gets the minutes, people see how good this young kid is. He's absolute phenomenal player.
I'll tell you who did impress me pre-season. The left back. What's his name?
Larouche. Yeah.
He looked good.
He does look good.
He was down the wing, covering decent crosses. And I thought, you know what?
Yeah.
Maybe not buying a left back wasn't not bad of an idea.
Yeah.
I think Gerrard had a hand in that. He was Gerrard's boy, wasn't he? Gerrard is the one that was pushing him forward. And that fair dues to
Don't get
him.
me wrong, I wouldn't mind having Ryan in the session before he went to Tottenham, but hey, if you can save the money and you got talent there, why not?
Play him.
Yeah. I was a bit surprised to see he wasn't in the squad though for the Norwich game.
Well, if we look at the bench. Well, thanks guys. Let's move on to the Norwich game then. So, look at the bench. Well, look at the team first of all. It was Alisson, defence we're just talking about. That's Trent, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Robertson. Robotron 3000 to new viewers. Midfield was Fabinho holding, Henderson slightly to the right of him, ahead of him, Ronaldo to the left of him, and then up top we had Firmino, number 9, dropping off, and then Salah to his right, and we had Origi to his left, to Firmino's left. And just to finish off that little segment there, the bench was strong.
Yeah.
Like, how are you going to fit anyone? I think we had one defender. That was Matip.
Yeah.
And then I guess Milner was on there and he can play left back, and the rest was just strong bench. Lallana was on the bench.
Praise the Lord.
So, if Lallana was not on the bench, right? Would Wilson have made the bench? He's not going to go ahead of Shaqiri, is he?
No. Yeah, again, like I said, it's not for me saying that Wilson. I know his minutes are going to be limited if he had stayed at Liverpool. My thing is there is going to be a time this season when Lallana gets into the team. I'm not sure what matches they are. And like I said before, those minutes for me should be Wilson.
So I guess then Wilson, when we're talking to Wilson, it meant that they would offer him, I guess, League Cup and FA Cup. And he said that's not enough, which is probably fair enough. He's 22. He just had a long season with Derby, playoffs as well. So I suppose it's good that he didn't get sold, because this is the best place for him, Bournemouth.
Well,
it's Bournemouth, isn't it?
That's right.
I can see probably what the plan is. Between Lallana and Milner, they're not getting any younger. Probably both their last seasons at the club. Milner I'll probably give it another year.
I hope not for Milner. I'd give him another 5 years. He's the fittest guy in the squad.
But Nivea is on borrowed time. We all know it. We all see it. I don't know what Klopp and the rest of them sees.
Maybe they're waiting for the Nivea contract to run out before they let him go as well. The actual Nivea contract.
They're bringing in Nivea money.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, once he skedaddles out of the club, maybe that is Wilson's spot.
Yeah.
Good point.
Yeah, the way I've seen like our transfers, I think with the prices so sky high as they is, I think it seems that our policy is buy them young, develop them, and get them into the team. So I'm hoping we do that with Wilson. I think we're doing that with Grujic. I think eventually maybe Milner will be phased out. Grujic will come in and take his place. So they're getting him kind of in that Liverpool ethos. That's the way I see it. Harvey Wilson as well.
Hope so. All right, then. So the team, we've just said the team. In the context of the City game, which Sam correctly said that was the proper first game of the season. First half was shocking. Second half was amazing. So were you nervous going into the game, even though we had a great second half against City?
Going into the game, I was. For me, it was like City, they're our nearest rivals, and the way it was kind of we won, they won. Any kind of psychological advantage we can get, i.e. a win over them in the Charity Shield, that was important. So for me, I always felt if we lost this is going to be
What about the Norwich game? Going into the Norwich game?
Going into the Norwich game, I was a lot more confident because of that second half display against City. I thought we showed them that we're here to stay. Like, we can match you, like, on the pitch. So in going to the Norwich game, I was confident. I like what I saw. Plus, we had Mane to come. So,
what did you like seeing? What did you like?
For me, I think I was seeing what Klopp was doing in pre-season. So, if you see the way the passes, like I remember there was Salah got the ball, and immediately Henderson knew where to run, and that comes with having a group of players together for an extended period of time. And you can see, for me, they've taken it up a couple of levels. So their understanding, Firmino drops off, Salah goes in, Origi knows where to run, Wijnaldum gets the ball, he spots Robertson. I think that comes with having a group of players that are together, that have been playing together for a while and understand each other's game. So that's what I liked, especially in the first half. It seemed second nature.
Yeah. Chris, want to add to that?
Norwich game. The thing is, with the first couple of games in any season, I think you have to be a little bit patient, because it's almost like a continuation of pre-season. I think we did well enough. I was a little bit surprised by the holes we had at the back in terms of Norwich players drifting into those holes. But like I said, it's the first game of the season. I thought we went a bit defensive. I was surprised to see Wijnaldum, Fabinho and Henderson start. I thought Henderson was excellent. I'm not always his biggest fan, but I thought he had an excellent game. I think Winnie was he was all right, but I think he was missing for parts of the game. But I would have played either Ox or Keita personally in that game. Norwich are a decent passing team, but we're at home, first game of the season. Do you know what I mean? I'd like to see.
We just touched on that with Wilson probably having, although not as a Liverpool player, but probably as a contracted Liverpool player, scoring the most goals outside the box since Coutinho left. But we've seen Keita hit a few, and we've definitely seen Oxlade-Chamberlain score some goals from outside the box. So, do you think we're missing a lot? Not just their runs, but we're missing their shooting when they don't play.
I think we missed their guile. You know what I mean? The three players that he picked are workmanlike. They're not. I know Wijnaldum was a number 10 in a former life, but he's not. I wouldn't say he's the most creative player we got in the team. I'd like to see a player with a little bit of guile, somebody who can drop their shoulder, drift past a player or two, because that just opens up spaces and avenues for the front three to run into. Do you know what I mean? So this is why. I mean, I said we did it at a canter because we are that good a team now, but. I mean, no complaints really about the selection, but I just felt I was surprised. I was a little bit surprised by the team he picked for the first game.
Yeah, I echo that. Like, again, for me, in that Charity Shield, when Keita came on, we went up a couple of levels, and I would have liked to have seen him start in that Norwich game to give us, like you say, that attacking thrust. Like, when you've got the ability to beat players, like you say, that creates space. Someone from the other team's got to come out of position. That creates space for Firmino, Origi, Salah. So, and I think that's going to be the key to us this coming season. If we can get people like Keita, Oxlade-Chamberlain, Shaqiri really using their guile, using their
drifted in between the lines.
Yeah. That's how I see us competing with City this year. If we can get those three firing all cylinders, then yeah, we're gonna push them close.
Yeah, because that's what I'm like. Sorry, goals from midfield. That was a big thing last season.
I was gonna say, Wes, Chris said he was surprised. Are you surprised Klopp was loyal to his most his generals?
We know what Klopp's like by now. He won't change unless he's forced upon. It's come to a conclusion, and I accepted it from last season. Milner, Hendo, Wijnaldum. Those three, and we spoke about it many a times. It's just as it is.
Two out of the three look like they're going to play most weeks.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, Fabinho in there, he does his job. Personally, I wouldn't mind seeing Ox get a run out. I wouldn't mind seeing Shaqiri, but you know what? We've got 37 games to go. They'll all get the opportunities. The one thing that has impressed me, and it burns me to say it, last season, like many people, I wasn't on the Divock Origi train. Klopp saw something. I spoke to him, gave him some lessons or whatnot. The guy's come back, and after the Everton goal, something must have clicked.
He looked very quick, didn't he?
Very. Yeah. And now he's playing with. It's like he's believing himself.
Confident.
Confident.
He's not my guy, but he's Credit where it's due. He's turned
But
up.
how long can he not be your guy? If that makes sense.
It's not about like I said. I'm not gonna not acknowledge his contributions, but for me, he's one of those players that he's got great ability, but I don't think, again, the IQ is there necessarily with him. I think he's an average IQ footballer. I don't know about it's like his personal life, but for me, Mane is one of them guys there where when he plays, there's a synergy between him and Firmino. Is particularly where they don't even have to look at each other. They know where this one's guy, the runs that each other are making. That synergy between the front three when they play is a different level. The funny thing is, Gary Neville made a point. I was trying to share it to the group, but for some reason I couldn't find a link again when he was saying that it's going to be very difficult for us to add to our squad in the front three because they're at such a level that whoever comes in is never going to get a game. Do you know what I mean? They're that good unless you're resting somebody for the odd game, and if you pay 70 million for somebody, ask them to sit on the bench and play 1 out of every 3 or 1 out of every 4 games is a big ask. Do you know what I mean? So I think with Origi, I don't think it's necessarily him. I just think what's ahead of him is so good, it makes him look average to bad. And that's not taken away from his contributions over the last couple of months. He's done well.
Yeah, to me, I'd love to know what his record is recently because most games he plays, he does score.
Yeah. And all gets assists. He got an assist against Norwich.
Newcastle game last year, at the end, that must have been the last 2 or 3 games, wasn't it?
Yeah,
he scored in that game.
Yeah,
Scored in the Champions League final.
Yeah, and
scored in the semi-finals.
Yeah,
he's definitely got that big game touch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not always about how good a football you are. Some players are just they've got a knack for it, and I think he's one of those players.
He has come a long way because at one point wasn't he like voted one of the worst strikers in the France?
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
He's voted the worst player
In the
French
worst
league.
team. In the worst team.
Yeah,
He's voted the worst player in the French league at one season. Yeah.
Okay, well, he's got the last laugh, hasn't he? So,
exactly.
Obviously, we scored 4 goals. I mean, apart from the goals, or even talk about the goals, what was the key moments for you? What impressed you specifically?
I sort of touched on it before. The link-up play, they seem to understand where to go when one player's got a ball, what runs to make. And you always see just Robinson bombing on, Trent bombing on. I think it looked like it's going to perhaps get better. So that impressed me.
We've got that competition between them again this season about for most assists.
For me, it was Firmino. I think this guy
he looks sharp this year.
He might be the most underrated forward in world football. But I've had so many people disrespect him, talking about he doesn't do this or he doesn't. He's not the greatest finisher in the world. But I tell you what, he's got one of the sharpest minds in the game, and he's unselfish and he works his ass off. If you ask me, like if I had to choose between him and Salah, I'd keep him. I like Salah. Salah's a great finisher, great goal scorer. But for me, as like a personal selfish thing. Footballers like Firmino, I love them because they just it's so unselfish. It's the team first every time.
It's not even that. I think he's so crucial to where we play. He starts the press, he drops back into the midfield. I see him nicking the ball and then creates a 3-on-4 in midfield, so we get the overload, get it wide. He'll get it.
He started the season well, hasn't he?
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, I mean the goal in pre-season against who was it? The game we actually won.
Leon.
Yeah. That was a hell of a goal from such an acute angle. And he looked sharp. I mean, it's funny because the Salah season, everyone was raving critical about Salah. And I remember I said, you know what, next season, it's going to be Mane's season. Last season was Mane. This year I want it to be Firmino's season.
Yeah.
He's crucial. He's crucial. Like I said, he's unselfish play. And he's a very gifted footballer. I think people overlook him because of the work he puts in. Technically, he's brilliant.
I think most people agree. I think it's usually the goals.
No, I've had a lot of arguments with people that don't appreciate what he gives to the team.
You, so have I. I agree with you.
That's crazy.
We had a load of conversations with people because fans from other teams will go, yeah, but this guy does that. I'm saying you're not watching him play. You're not watching him play. He's like combining Dirk Kuyt with do you know what I mean? It's that endeavour, that workman that sort of like attitude and the IQ to go with it. That sort of thing is priceless. That's why Klopp loves him. What did Klopp say? Something like Mane is world class some of the time, Salah is world class some of the time, Firmino's world class all the time.
Yeah, and even I remember when we played Barcelona last season in the Champions League and when Wijnaldum went up front, I think afterwards he came up with a quote, something along the lines of, I appreciate what Firmino gives to the team.
Yeah.
The running he does, having to kind of drop off, having to kind of be the focal point.
So you saying that was kind? I had an Arsenal man trying to tell me who you rather have, Aubameyang or Firmino, and I laughed and went, "No offense, I'd rather have Firmino every day."
You literally just took the words out of my mouth.
Firmino all day over that.
Aubameyang is a world-class finisher. He's a world-class finisher, but if he isn't scoring, he does nothing. Watch him. If he doesn't score, he doesn't contribute.
Yeah.
Firmino, he could have the worst game ever. I guarantee he will do at least one thing in that game that will help out the team.
Close down, yeah.
Did he not make someone pretty bad on Friday night as well? And he stand and
What about that chest and volley?
Yeah,
that would have gone in. That was golden a month.
Goal.
That would have been golden a month. That would have gone in.
Fantastic, but big up Firmino.
Yeah.
Your dress sense is a bit freaky, but the teeth are a little bit too white. But shout outs to Firmino.
Yeah, appreciate what you give to the team,
Lads, it says here who was man of the match. So it's a bit of a stupid question, isn't it?
For me, somebody else said, I can't remember who, but for me it was Firmino all day long.
Yeah,
I think he was easily the man of the match, but other people.
I thought Salah played well.
Yeah.
To be fair, everyone played
well.
Yeah.
Trent
Front
impressed
six.
me with ball delivery. That was on point again.
Yeah.
Defence-wise, it's early days, but we can let that one go.
Okay, well, and also it says what the key moments. And I asked you guys, and we talked about the goals. We talked about Firmino,
Alisson. Yeah.
I was trying to forget that. Man.
It's like Chinese state TV. Like, let's leave out all the shit. Go on.
I was trying to. It's a loss, but I think I mentioned in a group that I think he's earmarked for like 4 to 8 weeks. I think there's an international break in between that, so hopefully it won't be too long. But this is, maybe it will ensure that the defenders sort of like switch on a little bit more.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Adrian, but they won't have had.
Put a nice positive spin on this disaster, Chris. Good, I like it.
It's changed for me. I'm trying to be a bit more positive this year.
Adrian's much better. Yeah.
To be fair, I've got to give a massive shout out to all those that attended the game on Friday, because the ovation that Adrian got.
That was nice, wasn't it? I was shocked.
In his 6-year tenure at the club.
That was very clever by the fans.
Yeah, they're not stupid. They loved it, and to be fair, you know what? Yeah, he conceded the goal, but he will kick on from that.
Okay, so he's Spanish, isn't he?
Yes.
That's right.
And he looks quite nifty on the ball, but his frame looked kind of small to me.
Adrian?
Yeah.
No, he looks hench, man.
Is he?
Yeah, he's a big guy. He's not.
He's at least 6'1", 6'2", I'd say.
In terms of height, I don't think he's nowhere near as. I mean, but he's replacing a Bearing goal, isn't it? So it's a bit harsh to about his frame, but he's a solid guy. He's not like a lightweight. He's not like Mignolet.
Do you guys think he could have done better with the goal?
Bounce got past him. Nothing you can do.
Possibly come out and closed out, but I think we're nitpicking here.
I think.
What was the guy's name? Pingu,
yeah.
Is that
nah. He wrapped his foot round. It was a good finish.
Yeah.
But I thought he got down kind of slow, and
I think we're used to Alisson. That's what it is. We're used to kind of how his great reflexes and that. Right.
No offense, but if that was Mingale, he wouldn't picking out of his net anyway. So.
I don't think Adrian's played that many games in the last year, so I mean.
I thought he was at West Ham last year.
He was, but he didn't start that many games. I think he only started like 3 games. I think for West Ham last year. Funny enough, the West Ham fans appreciate him. You see a lot of.
To be fair, I remember playing against before
the game. A lot of tweets
when we played against him a few times. He made a hell of a couple of decent saves. So to get him on the free.
But like I said,
he's a decent
keeper. Tweets before the game.
He's a decent. He'll do a good job. I just say hopefully fans don't expect Alisson because he's not Alisson.
And just think, somewhere around the world, Mingale must have been cussing.
Yeah, possibly.
If I could have stayed,
he might be happy to be out of the bloody fire.
I think he is. I think there's levels, and I don't think he's quite at the level that Liverpool require. Not on a long term basis, anyway. So
he's cheerleader now.
Definitely, yeah.
So we're looking at it as like glass half full. Then, so obviously it could have been Mignolet.
It's, to be honest with you, when it first happened, I was worried, and the thing that worried me is when Klopp came out and said he felt like something hit him in the back of the leg.
Yeah.
And I watch a lot of basketball, and the only times I've ever heard that, it's been an Achilles. And that you're talking about 9 to months to a year if it's an Achilles. So it wasn't. So I'm kind of relieved. Obviously, I'd want him in goal, but it's not a long term.
Yeah.
Long term. He's going to miss a couple. I think they reckon he can get back for the Chelsea game in September, I believe somebody.
Yeah, it varies, isn't it?
Yeah, so if it's calf strain or calf tear.
I've done my calf once, and I felt like someone had thrown a tennis ball at me. I turned around, I was like, who done that?
Yeah.
And I literally rested it for 3 weeks and I was fine.
Yeah.
So it must be, varying.
And they're getting top notch treatment. Do you know what I mean? So
Hey, man, if he's back for the Arsenal game, I'll be made up.
Yeah, but I hope we don't rush him back. I hope that we give him time to heal, because I think because he's so important, there might be a tendency to let's get him back in.
That'll depend on the results, I guess, though, isn't it?
Yeah, that'll have a bit.
when is the Arsenal game? Is it
Couple weeks?
Next Saturday.
He's not going to be better
It's
for the
not.
Arsenal game.
No, no.
Who said that?
It's not.
When is the Arsenal game?
Nah.
He's a joker.
Isn't it Southampton we got next week? I thought it's Southampton.
Burnley.
It's Southampton, then Arsenal.
Burnley
Southampton.
Southampton, Arsenal, then Burnley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I'm pretty sure we play Burnley before.
No, Southampton Saturday.
Yeah. Arsenal's our next league game.
Yeah, Burnley's
then
31st.
Burnley.
Am I
Yeah.
online? I can't find out.
Yeah, Burnley's 31st.
That's mad. Someone can tell us in the comments underneath.
Okay, yeah. I said this. I like him in goal for the Arsenal game because obviously they've added to their Arsenal, so they might be a bit
A little bit gassed up.
a little bit tasty.
Well, to segue off that, Arsenal adding to their squad, we never added to this season. In sort of like first team playing wise, we've obviously got Harvey Elliott, who looks good.
Quality player.
Yeah, actually seen him around Fulham training ground. He's very, very small, but obviously he's nippy. We got Van der Berg. Is that it's in the back.
Yeah.
And the third, obviously, was Adrian, who's already in the team. But should we have added to the actual first team playing squad?
I'll let one of you guys go first.
Yeah, not really. The way I've seen it, I've treated this season is that other seasons I thought we had to add because we weren't as good as the top team. Now I think we're on the par with City, so there's not necessarily that pressure to add, although I would have liked an attacking midfielder / winger to come in to put a bit of pressure on Mane and Salah. But I guess, again, what we alluded to before, you're paying 80 million. Is someone paying 80 million for going to sit on the bench for 5 games?
Ajax dude, what's his
Ziyech.
name? Ziyech, yeah. Hamik.
He
was on offer for 35 million euros.
Yeah.
And I imagine anyone who comes from, not anyone, but someone who comes from Ajax or, and they know who Mane and Salah are, they won't complain too much to be second fiddle, would they?
I actually think he would be perfect for our team. I think his work rate, endeavour, skills, goals, assists, I think he's a perfect player for either him or Bruno Fernandes. I wanted one player, like you said, that sort of like a attacking midfielder / winger type player. However, once I calmed down and realised that we weren't going to sign anybody, I think part of the thing with fans, I include myself in this, is that Sky have created this sort of narrative where you have to buy players and stuff like that. The whole transfer deadline being a part of that, I think makes people a little bit overexcited and they can overlook what they already have. I think at the place where we are with our squad now, I think you have to be very, very picky about who you add to the mix.
Yeah.
You can't just get any players or create that sort of Galactico sort of. That's not what we're about. So it has to be the right player. So I do get them not signing a player if they can't get the player they want. I'm not sure they were looking, but I think getting a player for the sake of it, I don't think it's a waste of money. You might as well hold on to the money and let Oxen cater. Because I think I pick Cater to have a big season if he can stay fit.
But not to be negative, but we're talking about, I think most people have been talking about Mane and Salah as let them have some sort of backup dancer. And I noticed a quote from Klopp, and it made me think he's obviously listening to the pundits or even on social media, because he said something like, who do you want me to buy? How can I improve the squad? What do you want me to do? Do you want me to get, is it maybe support for Mane and Salah? I was thinking, why did he actually say that? He must have been thinking of it, surely.
Yeah, I think he's thought about it.
Yeah, no.
I think he's definitely thought about it. He has to. I think he's a lot more clued up than.
Yeah.
But it's his job to keep everybody calm. He can't react like a fan does. He can't go, oh my God, what are we gonna do? We haven't got a backup for it.
Okay, so you guys are cool with it, but Waz, do you think there's a possibility that we could suffer for it? I mean, okay, forget that. Well, phrase it a different way. If something happens bad to Mane or Salah, can we cope?
No, because I've thought about it all summer. In my head, I had it kind of planned like, European champions, everyone wants to come to Liverpool, everyone wants to get involved. Okay, let's get at least 2 or 3 players. And this may be the championship manager side of me kicking out. But I thought, if you get cover for well, any of the main three and possibly a left back were good. In my head, I thought, you know what? For Salah, I've always said Leon Bailey, even to an extent.
Bailey's a
Zaha.
top player,
Yeah, I'm not even Zaha's biggest fan, but you know what he can do when he's on the pitch. And he loves.
He would have cost too much though.
That's the Zaha thing. Is the
But on the right hand side as well, there's been this talk. I mean, I'll get to the whole online clickbait accounts, whatever. But this whole Jordan Sancho from Dortmund, has been
They want silly money for him.
strongly linked with us as well. And I thought, hey, you know, if you can get him, that's good. But a player like him, for the money he's worth, he's not going to be a number two.
I think the Sanchos and the Zahas and maybe even the Baileys. I don't know. I mean, he was linked. Was it last year? Bayer Leverkusen.
I think German clubs. I think the days of English clubs going to Germany and getting their players cheaper are over.
Well,
I think they've clued up.
Sancho's a first team player. Like he can't be on the bench.
Yeah.
Bailey dipped down for a year, but he seems to be back on point. I've for the last year and a half been calling out for Timo Werner as a backup for number 9.
You're the Timo Werner guy. That's you. Okay.
And he was quite. He looked like he was quite cheap as well.
He still is.
Yeah, he is because he's in the last year of his contract, I believe. I know he hasn't. So I don't think he signed a new contract. But
25 mil, that's nothing.
But with regards to cover, I think I've calmed down a bit because.
Oh God.
No, honestly, because you know what? I come to the realization that no team can withstand losses. The only team that can withstand losses is City.
No, wait, Chris. Let's not be like philosophical about it. Tell me what you would do, and just touch wood. This is all hypothetical. If something happened to Salah or Mane, what would you do on Saturday afternoon when we were playing the team? What team would you pick? Let's say there's no Mane.
Pick one.
No Mane for 2 months.
I would go with either. I think I'd probably go with Origi because he's stepped up recently and he's in form. Shaqiri's a good player, but he last couple of months in the season he was a little bit inconsistent when he was fit. I'm not sure what's going on with him with injuries because I think during the period where everybody was questioning why Klopp didn't pay him, I think he was partially injured for a part of that.
Yeah.
And you know, with injury, form dips and all that sort of stuff. But I would go with Origi because he's got raw pace, and I think our system works better with raw pace. I also think, maybe one of the youngsters could step up and go in there. Maybe we could play Larouci or one of these players in there, or Elliot, man. I tell you what, that kid is 16 years old, man. He plays with the will of like 10 men.
Look good.
I think he could step. If like the saying is, if they're good enough, they're old enough. I mean, I said being positive, we have to work with the squad we have. Formation changes, that sort of thing. Klopp knows what he's doing. He'd compensate, but touch wood. Hopefully, we don't have any long-term injuries other than niggles here and there. But I'm sure we'll cope. We'll adjust. You know what I mean? If because Mane's been injured for periods the last couple of series, didn't it? I think it was out for 6 weeks at one point.
2 years ago when he got injured at Christmas, that was a nightmare, wasn't it?
Yeah,
season fell apart.
Yeah, we're a lot deeper now, so I don't think it'd be. I mean, Mane for me is a quality, absolute world class player, so it would miss him, but I'd back. I think Klopp deserves our trust at this point. I think he winds me up sometimes with his son and
for me, if Mane and Salah got injured, I'd put Shaqiri wide one wing, Oxlade-Chamberlain wide the other. They're not going to be as good as Salah and Mane, but I think they're adequate. I think against non-top 6 teams, I can still see us getting results.
Ox used to play back in the days at Arsenal, isn't it?
So
I think we're good enough to get results against top 6 teams, even if we're not. We've developed into a side that can play poorly and still pick up the points.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't think we have to dominate a team to win, which is always a great sign. But I mean, touch wood, hopefully none of them do get injured. But I think we've got players who can adjust. You know what I mean? We can switch the formation up a little bit.
All right, lads, that's okay then. So transfer was a success. Brilliant. Okay.
I wouldn't go that far, but I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to be a bit more positive. Not so much doom and gloom, do you know what I mean?
All right, let's segue to the next point that producer Leo gave us, and that's about our actual playing squad and what players would be key for us this season. Raz, you want to get that off?
Let's see. It's just the same as always. To be fair, I just think everyone has a role to play. I mean, if I have to pick out a player for me will always be Robbo. Because I think when you watch him, not even the rest of the team, as soon as he gets the ball, you know what's going to happen.
Drive.
Yeah. Everyone is like, it's like watching a race. Everyone's already running into position. You take him out, I'm worried. Don't get me wrong, Milner, great servant. You ain't got the speed yet, you can do the delivery. But for me, Robbo's the focus part of the team.
I was going to say something interesting about Robertson. Someone in our group was talking about his attitude and his fitness levels. And I was just reading a report of the Norwich game, and they talked about Robertson, and they had an image of him, and it looked like it was pre-game. You know, he usually jumps up in the air, doesn't he, and lifts his knees up into his like abs, and the height he got. And this is like pre-game. You know, sometimes they talk about players' attitudes, and he's not warming up properly, or he's not putting 100% into the warm-up. This guy's doing a jump by himself just before the game, and he's putting so much effort in, and it made me think that just like encapsulated what Robertson's about. It's like desire, attitude, professionalism.
Probably is that upbringing. A lot of people who I don't even know, but a lot of people come from humble beginnings, man. They I mean, I think sometimes we forget that to count our blessings, and I think he's one of them guys that definitely counts his blessings and feels lucky to go from, was it Queen of the South, one of them teams he was playing for, to playing the Champions League finals. Do you know what I mean? And getting paid to do it. Do you know what I mean? Big dough. So
you can see he's always humble and he's happy. And just to remember when he came to the club, a few of us at that point questioned why are we buying this
Not
guy
me.
well? And then when Mourinho was getting ahead of him, we're like, okay, you're buying with a backup, but you know what? I don't mean this, but thank God Mourinho got injured, and the rest is history. He's kicked him from there.
Yeah, because I had actually listened to something, and I think Robinson was saying that he was at Queen of the South and he applied for a job in Waitrose and he didn't get it. So if you were in university, you weren't getting jobs in Waitrose, now you're at Liverpool, you're going to grab that with both hands.
Oh yeah, man, love the guy's attitude. You know what I mean? I said, you know what I mean? It's not about patting myself on the back, which I'm going to do back now. But I remember when we signed him, I said straight away, I watched him play at Hull, and he's, for me, attitude and application trump talent. You know what I mean? You could somebody like Neymar, who should be running world football at this point in time, and the guy's a knob. Do you know what I mean? So none of his teammates like him. But anyway, give me man like Firmino, man like Robertson all day long, because them guys will put in a shift for you and turn up. It's nice having the cherries on top, but you need foundation. And guys like Robertson, these guys are the guys that you build your team around for years. You know what I mean? These guys are the guys you create dynasties on the back of, not these.
Oh, future captain, no doubt.
Oh, 100%, 100%. Do you know what I mean? But these are the guys that I value in football anyway. Talent and application in this case, but sometimes, you know, if you haven't got the talent.
Sam, who are your key players moving forward this season? Anyone new? How about this then? How about who can give me a new key player? Because we know our key players are, I guess.
Cater.
Again, this Cater.
Sam, you're everywhere, mate. Sorry, Sam.
That key, I would say, for me, like I said earlier, if we're gonna really push Man City, and if we're gonna have a slight difference to how we were last season, it's Ox, Shaqiri, and Cater. Those players that have got guile, those players that got skill, those players that are creative. Because for me, that's
and
what
those players
they
who were
have.
injured for a lot of time as well.
That's what City have, that we've got, but because of injuries and whatnot, we haven't been able to kind of utilise them and get them on the pitch. So if they can come good, that would be good. And I want our defence to be solid again, because for me, that gave me a platform. Last season, I was going into games, I was thinking we ain't going to concede. It's just a matter of can we break this team down. So if we can get another solid display from the defence all season long, then I think that
that's a great shout. Between Shaqiri, Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Keita, they probably didn't do 38 league games last season, did they?
Who doesn't rate? Go on, rate.
Who doesn't rate?
Katie doesn't seem to rate.
No, I have nothing against Cater, but I can't. Maybe I'm not seeing it as everyone else is. I'm hearing about all the stuff he did in the Bundesliga. Yeah, that's cool. That's Bundesliga. But you know what? Last season, you started off slow, then you got injured. You came back, then you hit the ground running. That's fine. I'm all good with that. But this whole thing about Cater being like a world beater or getting 10 goals a season, I don't see it. If he gets 5, I'll be impressed.
Chris, I'll go back to you in a minute. Does anyone think, because Klopp's got this way of bringing players into a squad or into the first team slowly. We had it with Robertson. We had it with Fabinho. Right? If, in my opinion, I'm a bit of a Keita fan as well. If he brings them in slowly and then they get injured and then he puts them on the bench again and brings them in slowly, is that not going to disrupt the players' rhythm?
I think so. I think I don't even think he's close for talent. I think maybe Ox in terms of ability, but I think he's far and away our most gifted player. I think you could see
in midfield. In
midfield, sorry. Thank you for your correction. Yeah, I think he's an exceptional talent, and I think his first season was disjointed, injury. I think Klopp maybe didn't trust him as much. I think he was a little bit weak on the ball at times, but in terms of ability and the ability to influence games, I think he's key. I think if he has a good season, if he steps up to his potential, then we can win the league. I think he's an exceptional player. He can do it all. He's one of the few players we got in our midfielders who can drop his shoulders and drift past people. You seen him do it. He can do it at will when he's on his game. But he does need to step up. I agree with you on that, and show what he can do. But I'm a massive fan of his. At Leipzig, and you know what I mean. I'm waiting for him to do it for Liverpool.
Don't get me wrong. If this works and it helps us to win the league, I'm all for it.
By the way, people, me and Wes have got a bet on for is it 10 goals?
Yeah.
10 goals in all comps. I think he'll get 10 goals in the league, but you know what I mean. I'm backing my boy, man. He's
that's
on that
good,
hard food.
man.
All right.
Yeah,
he's on that hard food this year, man. Trust me.
That's all right. We'll see.
That's a good bet. That's some optimistic shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm big fan, but I think he'll do well.
Okay, Waz, have you got any sort of like different players we can say maybe we can rely on this season?
No.
Nah,
it's the same as, it's unfortunately I think what Klopp has done, he's built a team.
So does that mean you're not a massive, you're not a massive fan of Shaqiri and Oxlade-Chamberlain as well?
Hey, no, don't get me wrong. I would love both of them to come through and live up to their expectations. Ox, I think in time will. Do I think it's going to be this season? Probably not. I think the injury has probably still mentally messed him up. I think slowly, like we just said about Keita, he'll be slowly slotted into the team, and eventually when he's ready, hoping against Arsenal, he can score, and then we'll kick on from there. Shaqiri, we know Johnny Bravo can do it. It's just that level of consistency. If he can get it, and you know what I mean, don't overhit the pass. It's like you're trying too hard. Just play your game.
He does hit a lot of passes.
He does seem like he's trying too hard. I think man on the head there, he does.
He tries too hard.
He needs to relax himself.
Yeah, exactly. Relax yourself. Play your game. Hit a free kick. We know we can do. Hit a 30-yard. We know you can do it. Just do that, and it will come naturally. But as far as standout players per team, I think it's just the whole team. Addison's gonna be a massive miss. For me, I think it's one of the biggest misses in the team right now. But as far as the whole team or any individual, if I have to pick one, probably gonna be Mane. I think if Mane can restart like when he ended last season, it's all systems go.
So if I'm forced to pick one, I'm probably going to pick Virgil, just for like what he's given to that defence, how much the defence has just gone up since we bought him. And I think if he was to go, it's the bad old days, calamitous defending. So if I have to pick one, it's going to be Virgil. But for me, that defence can stay solid. If we can get as much as we can out of Keita, Shaqiri and Knox, then
okay.
And Salah, if he learns how to finally pass the ball.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've got a running battle with my friend about that, but that's something else.
What's your opinion on Salah's like interplay? You happy enough?
He's good, but there are times where it's like it's me PLC. It's Salah Football Club, and players are blankly on and in a better position. And for me, if you're a footballer, if someone's in a better position, you pass.
Viewers, we haven't coached him on this. This is Sam's own thoughts.
Yeah, and he in the Charity Shield especially, he wound me up so much.
Yeah. I think. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, because I know what you're going to say. Waz, so what's your thoughts on Salah's interplay at the moment?
Well, for the Norwich game,
probably since like early last season, I think.
Well, to be
moving
fair,
on.
Sam pointed it out that it's like something's changed within him. It's like he's realising how good he is, so he sees it as his own personal goal to just do what he can do. Which, don't get me wrong, all allegedly world best players have that greedy mode about them.
Yeah, it's necessary.
Yeah. But sometimes, as we've all just pointed out, when there's an easy opportunity, just do it.
Yeah.
Just lay it over. I mean, the amount of times in the community and the Norwich game where you saw, 300 in is free. While you take the shot. There's one shot he had where everyone in the world could see someone was open on the left hand side.
I think it was Fabinho.
Yeah. It was so open. And he tried the shot and I'm like,
Yeah.
look, it's only game 1. You got 37 odd games to get the golden boot.
Yeah.
Chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as I said, me and Paul have had this discussion on many occasions. Like Wes just alluded to, is the top strikers in the world, top forwards in the world, have to need to be selfish, and I've got no problem with that. What I do have a problem with is where you develop this myopic view, where you can only see your own achievements. If there's a wide open player on, pass the ball. You don't try to make some silly shot. Plus, for me, he goes back to having another 40 goal season if he passes the ball because he becomes less predictable.
When he scored 41 goals, we had no complaints about his passing, did we?
No, because he was passing it.
thing.
That's the reason why he got so many goals, because he was passing it and receiving it back, or it was creating additional passing lanes because people were moving about, and it made his job easier. He was getting tap-ins.
That 40-odd goal season, when you think about it now, majority of the play came from the wing or from Coutinho or Ox back then. No one didn't know what he was capable of. It was like,
Well, a lot of it came from him. Like he was in the same position as he is in now, driving towards the fullback. He might take him on, and then he'd play 1-2 with Firmino, and he'd score, or he would be involved, or he got a lot of goals from the back posts. Robertson,
Well, that's the thing. I was about to say. Maybe one of our listeners or anybody viewing it can tell us. I'd bet that he had less possession in that season where he scored 40 goals than he does now. I don't think he dribbled as much with the ball. He just seemed to pop up on the end of stuff a lot of times.
Against Watford at Anfield, where there's around about 4 defenders.
Yeah.
And he took them on, and they all slide one way.
Yeah.
Then slide the other. Then I think that's the turning point, because he wasn't doing that until that game.
I
mean, something clicked.
Yeah, I mean game, that was very instinctive. I thought, like, I don't think he could have passed it. That was a great goal. Like, but anyway, we're gonna move on. But to finish it off with Salah in the positives, we love him, right? Like
fantastic player, fantastic. Let's don't.
And he's got us think at the moment. He is, like you said, is getting a bit PLC for him, but.
All it is
some
just
players are like that, and
pass it when there's a better opportunity, and that's it. That's all he has to do. The rest of his game is fantastic. Works his ass off, bangs in goals, has the odd assist. I think for some reason the only person he trusts with the ball seems to be Mane. He will occasionally pass to Mane.
Actually, more likely Trent.
On the overlap,
yeah.
I mean, again, it's not that bad. It's just something we're looking for perfection. You can see when he's running towards goal and someone's free and he doesn't pass it. It's kind of glaring, isn't it? Yeah. But that Man City game, my God, to have 8 shots by yourself against City, he was unbelievable.
It's rare.
Against Norwich, I thought he used the ball really well, little back heels here and there. It's just occasionally. He didn't pass the ball, but we can live with it. I'm going to live with it anyway. I'm not going to complain anymore because. This season, because he looks unplayable at the moment. He looks
he's got a bit of a chin. He's
sharp.
got the eye of the tiger.
Yeah. So anyway, we're running out of time, so let's just speed through the last bit. I want to ask you guys about your expectations and targets for the season, and I'd like it to sort of like merge into the Super Cup game as well. So obviously we're going for the league. So we play a full strength team against Chelsea on Wednesday.
For me,
any takers?
For me, not a entirely full strength team. I think it's a good opportunity to give a couple of the fringe players a go, for them to stake their claim, because I think we know what Klopp's first 11 are. Give these fringe players, say, go and show me, go and impress me, show me you deserve the shirt. I think, I'd say 6-7 first teamers, some of the fringe players, let them come in, let them show Klopp, the fans, what they can do. So that you can give Klopp a headache.
I think he'd probably play the same defence, but can anyone guess what the midfield might be?
I think Naby will start that game. I think Naby will start. I think Milner will start. And I'm probably going out of a limb here, but actually no, I'm not. Fabinho will start.
So he'll stay in the holding position. He'll just swap the two. midfielders?
I would go slightly different. I'd play full strength team. I say you get that first cup on the board. It's early season. The players are not going to run out of juice. Plus, there's an international break coming up soon.
We've got a tough game weekend, don't
Who's that?
Yeah.
Southampton
The
away?
turnaround is quick. It's like
Southampton-
Wednesday to Saturday.
That used to be a tough game. I mean, don't want to tempt fate, but I don't think it's the same as it used to be before. I think we can go there and win. Obviously, we have to perform to win, but I don't think it's the same Southampton side as a couple of years ago, maybe.
I mean, don't be surprised if the world's greatest defender starts that game as well. Lovren's due to come and do a madness, so he'll probably start that game on Wednesday as well.
Oh, bro, you don't need to do that to me, man. I'm having a good week so far, man. Stop bringing out Lovren like that, man. Come upset me, man. Next thing you tell me that Lallana's going to play.
Hey, you called it.
But, expectations for the season. For me, the league, or I want the league, or Champions League. If not any of those two domestic cups, so the FA Cup and what's his name, and the second place finish, that would do for me.
Simply, I just want the league. Champions League done. We've had it 6 times. We move on.
Keep winning it, man. Keep winning it, man. Greedy.
You know, the league will be nice, so I can just like stick the one thing up to all their other clubs and all people that have been slating me. Give us the league, and I'm done.
Yeah, for me, I think realistically top 2, and we've got to be taking one of the cups. Yeah, and for me that's a good season, and I want to see us keep having that same drive that we had last season. If you remember last season, we kept going to the end. I'm thinking like the Newcastle game, the Fulham game, when we weren't necessarily playing well, but we had that drive. We kept going. That's what I want to see this season. See us like fight.
Near enough full strength teams against in the Champions League and the Premier League. Then
Yeah.
So Mane, Salah, Firmino, happy to play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I want to see some of our attacking players. I want to see a bit more of the season before last. A bit more of that Liverpool bit back. We can be like reserved in a few games, but I'd like to see a lot of that cut and thrust back in us this season. But yeah, like said, I'm happy with. It's competitive out there. We can't expect to win everything every season, so I'm going to err on the side of realism. This is not Championship Manager. It's real life, and other teams can win other trophies. For those of you fickle fans out there who are going to be screaming for Klopp's head if he doesn't, so just settle yourself. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm looking to win the league for the first time since I was 10. Not me personally, but my football team. And I'm looking for the Champions League again. Do you know what I mean? The double this time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Never tired of winning that Champions League.
No.
But never, yeah.
All right, guys. Well, I think that about wraps it up. There's a few little housekeeping things I want to talk about. Obviously, you guys at home know that we are London-based Liverpool supporters. We got together on WhatsApp, and we actually created another WhatsApp group where loads of different people can get involved. So if you want to get involved and eventually be on the sofa like Sam is today, get us at Anfield _South 1 on Instagram. That's it, was. Yep. And put your number, give us your number, and we'll add you. And you can talk about Liverpool 24/7 with us and the rest of us. All right, Sam. Thanks for coming down.
No problem.
Like a duck. What was a duck's back? It was for him, wasn't it?
Yeah,
very,
very
impressive.
Man.
Yeah.
Come back at some point.
Yeah,
you know
come
what I
back as soon as you like,
Yeah.
and contribute again. That's fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Chris, thanks for taking my role of buttoning everyone's points.
You're welcome. My head's not quite as shiny as yours, but I try my best.
That's the pressure of the hot seat. Waz, as usual, thanks so much.
I'll be glad to see.
And I'll see you on the couch this time. This job's pretty tough. All right, guys, take it easy.
Word. That's unbelievable, it really is. I think they should stick to playing football. Terrible. What do you think, Kenny?
Oh, yeah.